Words cannot describe the pain and sadness and surprise that I feel with the recent loss of MJW. He was the big brother. He was a beacon. He was one of the most multifaceted, talented men. So gentle. And my heart and soul and hugs and kisses go out to his daughter and his wife and his mother. He gave the best advice. He gave the best hugs. And his smile will always be a huge, bright, and white smile on my head forever. I love you, and I know you're watching over all of us now. Bye, Malcolm.
All right, y'all. Stop what you're doing for a minute, because we need to talk about something serious. Pamela Warner, yes, the mother of Malcolm Jamal Warner, has finally spoken out, and what she said sent chills through the internet. She didn't hold back. She didn't try to soften the truth. She said exactly what so many people have been whispering. And now, what once looked like a sad accident feels more like something deeper, something darker. Let's rewind for a second. Pamela isn't just any celebrity mom. She's the woman who guided Malcolm's career from the very beginning. She was there when he became a household name as Theo on The Cosby Show. She helped him stay grounded through all the fame and pressure that comes with growing up on TV.
The beach where this shocking incident unfolded over the weekend, and you can see behind me right now there is a red flag up telling beachgoers to not go in the water, and of course those flags can change with conditions throughout the day, but there's a sign when we pulled up to the beach here that warns people about the risk of the current, about the risk of going in these waters. And of course we now know that for Malcolm Jamal Warner, going in these waters over the weekend proved to be deadly. A source close to the actor tells us that he was on vacation with his wife and his young daughter when a day at the beach went terribly wrong.
So when she says something isn't right, you listen because she knows her son better than anyone. According to her, the story we've been told doesn't add up. Malcolm had been at a low-key industry dinner, nothing wild, just a small gathering with people he'd known for years. Guests say he was laughing, relaxed, and in great spirits. A few hours later, he was found face down in a private pool at a Hollywood estate. Alone. No friends, no witnesses. And somehow, it was quickly labeled an accidental drowning. But here's the thing, Malcolm didn't swim at night. He wasn't drunk. Toxicology came back clean, no drugs, no alcohol, not even prescription meds. He was in great shape. Ate clean, exercised regularly, and stayed on top of his mental and physical health. So naturally, people started asking what happened in those missing hours between the dinner and his death.
To remind you, as I remind myself, that no matter what's going on, there's always a reason to smile. Peace and love, and I'll be back soon.
Why haven't we heard from the homeowner? Where's the security footage? Why is everything so quiet? Pamela spoke up just days after the news broke. No vague statements. No "please respect our privacy" quotes. Instead, she came forward with a quiet strength and a fire behind her words. She said, flat out, my son wasn't depressed. He wasn't using anything. And this was no accident. It didn't sound like a guess, it sounded like someone who knows more than they're able to say. Then came the early autopsy details. No drugs, no underlying health conditions, but oddly, some bruises were found on the back of Malcolm's head and shoulders. Not consistent with falling into a pool. Not normal for a slip or accident. But the coroner suggested the injuries could have come from a fall.
I was kind of going through a period that I was having a struggle with hopelessness.
Oh, okay.
And it was just really, the world is just in a dark place.
Yeah.
Really? A fall backwards into water and he ends up with bruises like that? It just didn't make sense. Malcolm's cousin James wasn't having it either. He went live on Instagram not long after those details were released. And he was angry. Hurt. He said straight up that something was being hidden. James reminded people that Malcolm was careful. He didn't just go places without knowing who was there. He didn't crash at random houses. He respected his space, and he didn't take chances. So why would he be at someone's home alone, with no backup, no explanation? James also brought up something that can't be ignored: race. He said if Malcolm weren't a black man, this case would have had way more attention. And he might be right. When white celebrities die under strange circumstances, there's constant media coverage, full-scale investigations, and the public demands answers.
It's about people in my life who have gone on and transitioned. And I think about the lives that they've led, like they were really good people. So, and when we talk about, why are the good people taken away from us? And I go, maybe they're being rewarded or something.
But for Malcolm, they stamped it as a drowning and moved on. And there was more. James hinted that Malcolm had recently distanced himself from some folks in the entertainment world. He didn't say names, but it was clear that some powerful people might have felt threatened by Malcolm walking away. Could that have something to do with it? Just when the public started to move on, Pamela made another powerful move, one that said loud and clear that she wasn't finished. She didn't just light candles and post tributes. She hired a private investigator. And not just any investigator. This one is known in Hollywood for digging deep into suspicious celebrity deaths. The kind of PI that doesn't get involved unless something really feels off. Pamela knows the game. She knows how quickly Hollywood can sweep things under the rug. And she wasn't about to let her son's life be reduced to a careless headline. She said she wouldn't rest until she had real answers. Not guesses. Not assumptions. The truth. Then things took another unexpected turn. Just days before Malcolm died, he signed on for a new streaming series. But this wasn't your usual drama or sitcom. It was a passion project. The show was going to explore real-life secrets in the entertainment world. It was about healing, second chances, and telling the stories that rarely get heard. Insiders say Malcolm was energized like never before. He was teaming up with writers, whistleblowers, and even former insiders who had stories to tell. Real ones. Some say this series was going to be his boldest work yet. He wasn't naming names, but he was definitely lifting the curtain on how the industry really works. If you've followed Hollywood long enough, you know not everyone wants that kind of truth out there. Some people will go to great lengths to stop it. To add to that, Malcolm had a full birthday weekend planned for his mom. Spa day, dinners, flights all booked and paid for. Everything was arranged down to the last detail. Does that sound like someone who was spiraling or planning to disappear? No. That sounds like a man who had plans, love in his heart, and a purpose. Then there's the chilling text message he sent to a friend just minutes before his death: "Not sure why I'm here. Something doesn't feel right." That one line says it all. He didn't feel safe. He was second-guessing whatever situation he found himself in. He wasn't high. He wasn't drunk. He was confused, maybe even scared. But the thing that shook people the most? A voicemail that leaked shortly after his passing. It was Malcolm's voice, calm, but serious. He said he was working on something important and hinted that some people might not want it to come out. He didn't give names, but the message had weight. Like he knew he was stepping on dangerous ground. Now fans, friends, and even strangers are starting to put the pieces together. Pamela isn't slowing down. She's asking questions that deserve answers. And honestly, the silence from those who were there speaks volumes. This isn't just a story about a celebrity death. This is a mother refusing to accept the easy version of events. This is about truth, justice, and uncovering what really happened to Malcolm Jamal Warner. Pamela Warner isn't just mourning her son. She's fighting for him. And the world is watching. Because something's not right. And sooner or later, the truth will come to light. Before Malcolm passed, he left a voicemail that's still haunting everyone who's heard it. He said, "If anything happens to me, just know I was working on something bigger than us all." Bigger than us all? That one line changed everything. What was he talking about? Was it a documentary? A secret project? Was he uncovering something that powerful people didn't want the world to know? That message raised so many questions, and yet, barely anyone followed up on it. The press moved on. Police didn't hold any press conferences. The LAPD has stayed mostly silent. The person who owned the house where he died hasn't spoken once, not even a simple, respectful statement. It's been total silence. And if you thought the entertainment industry would come out strong to honor him, you'd be wrong. This was Malcolm Jamal Warner. A face millions grew up watching. Someone who helped shape black television. But the reaction? Way too quiet. Tempest Bledsoe, who played Vanessa on The Cosby Show, got emotional on The View. She shared that they felt like a real family back then. Her words felt raw and honest. Then Raven Simon spoke briefly. She said they hadn't been close in recent years, but you could sense there was something deeper behind her pause, like something happened that she couldn't speak on. Lisa Bonet touched on the pressure Malcolm faced during his time on the show. She explained how he was expected to always be the good one, the kid who set the example. What people didn't see was the emotional weight he carried just to meet everyone's expectations. But even she didn't go too far into it. And after that? Nothing. You'd expect major stars to show up for someone like him. Denzel Washington, Angela Bassett, the cast members from back in the day, people who knew him, worked with him, or at least respected his work. But all we got were short, cold messages. No heartfelt memories. No love. Just generic posts that could have been written by a PR team. Look, we understand people grieve in private. But something about this silence feels off. Malcolm wasn't out of the game. He never faded away like some forgotten actor. He kept working, kept earning respect, kept inspiring others. So why this sudden distance? And that brings us to Pamela Warner, his mother. She's not letting this go. She's doing what any mother would do. She's demanding answers. Because right now, none of this feels right. Not the way it happened. Not the way it's being handled. And definitely not the way people are acting. This isn't about making up stories or pushing wild theories. This is about a grieving mother who knows her son and refuses to sit back while the world forgets him. She's fighting not just for the truth, but for his legacy. And honestly, she shouldn't be doing it alone. So now it's on us. Do you believe this was just a tragic accident? Or do you think Pamela is right to keep asking questions? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you felt even a small chill while listening to this story, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Because trust me, this isn't over, not even close.